Who is Sabrina Wallace? I found the following video on Rumble. You can find her on BitChute and Odyssey. I think Odyssey is the primary channel that you find a lot of her stuff on. I have not found her source though, so I've found these videos on multiple channels. So I'll go ahead and leave the channel that I found the following video on, and you can go from there. She may be legitimate, she may be controlled opposition. I'll let you watch and make your own determination, and love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Came on and he said, by the way, you should be happy that Elon Musk is going to back us up, and that, you know, just because the Heritage Foundation supports me or Tucker Carlson or whatever, this is what victory looks like. We're all now on the same page. Are we? Well, isn't that nice? That page where cybersecurity and infrastructure is still going to maintain the 30-year system that we've had, that's now been upgraded, that used to be body area networks. Now it's a bio-cyber interface with the National Institute of Science and Technology. So do you think that the people out there that have been lied to for the last 5 years, gaslit, they don't know anything about your C40 agenda? They think that's that cognitive city. They think it's a liberty city or an ascension problem. You also didn't mention to anyone suffusing the air, the water, the food with nanotechnology for 20 years with the National Nano Initiative. Y'all left that out. So now all of a sudden, here comes Elon and InfoWars and no. You same people, Elon, InfoWars, y'all didn't say a damn word about all these censor hunter people. And then we hear from the same people, oh, well, now we need to talk about it. You're still not, and you're not going to. This whole thing about rising up as people, that's going to give everybody what they want, which is more violence. So today's live stream featured some very important research for all of you out there that are currently creators, talking about the jabs, what you believe to be COVID-19, or what you believe to be nanotechnology. And I'll post the video here. The Rumble Dad already has it reposted on his channel. The nanotechnology has an internal networking called the 2D corona routing. Up until today, when I put the papers in order, was I able to fully see the outlay of some of the other DARPA foundries making their own molecules, peptides, amino chains. I was reading them, not comprehending. I'm like, where is all this going? Is it just transhumanism? Is it just regenerative medicine? No. Today, in the second of our live stream, we had 1, 2, and 3. 1 is for anybody who's brand new, doesn't know, and they're getting their feet wet. But part 2, the nanotechnology reproduces itself, grabs up the components of your body to do it, then after reproducing itself, creates its own neural networks, no different than your body does. That's bad enough. Then it can give commands to itself because it's got its own neural networks. So it starts upgrading different nodes of itself. Then it creates its own AI internally on its own. Every single one of you that thinks you need the 5G, no, it's inside. Thus the foundries with DARPA 10 years ago. So if it wasn't bad enough to know that the PAX database, anybody with the DHS, the FBI, can click a button remotely, but I didn't want to say anything because it's terrifying. You jabbed people with Nano that not only recreates itself, but makes its own neural nets and its own artificial intelligence that is specific to the human on the inside? It's in the molecular communication routing. I warned people that this was about turning humans into something else. I want to say thank you to my best friend over there, the Hillbilly Heart on the YouTube, for posting in her Temu haul tonight a bunch of extra data, trying to help the basic layperson out there understand that when you ignore things that are legally entered into Pentagon directives, college textbooks, and other legal documents that are required by universities for PhDs, that's going to catch up to you. And when you decide that you're too stupid, you can't understand, well, that's how we end up with an intelligent cluster-based routing protocol and going through the human body. And people are out there right now telling you none of this is real. There's no computer networking through the human body. If there was, someone would have told us. Now, watch this. This is the Synergy Tech Metric PDF. Now, these papers are not just from the MDPI. They're not only from Cambridge. They're not only from your Elsevier journal. They're not only from Wiley. They're from everywhere. And when I type in emergent technology on Wikipedia, I'm told that the blockchain Bitcoin is not here yet. So that means that Bitcoin, 3D printing, nanotechnology is not in use. So for any of you right now that have a Bitcoin wallet, you're having a mass hallucination. I'm not joking. I'm not being hyperbolic. This says energy harvesting. Yeah. What kind of energy are they harvesting? Human, kinetic, intragalvanic, piezoelectric energy. Now you're going to tell me, oh, there's just no way. We don't have wireless sensor networks. And I said and showed we've had biosensors since the 1950s. So what we have had to endure for 5 years are psychological operations. And then everyone goes, well, that's their job and they have to do it. They're killing people. It's called a kill box. They're people. And whoever you are, you're letting them. You're not reading. You're not holding yourself accountable to the fact that when you eat your lunch, it doesn't come out your posterior in the same physical fashion because you have an electrical biochemical digestive tract with an electrical biochemical heart, an electrical biochemical bloodstream, neurotransmitters. No, there's no such thing. I've heard they're invading from Mars. So let me get this straight. You can spend tons of hours on the Wi-Files, on the YouTube, reading and listening for 40 minutes, and then more hours about Project Looking Glass. That's radar looking through your ass because you are a node on a computer network. Yeah, for a while now. Yeah, since 1995. Well, we're not going to talk about that. No. We're going to talk about aliens and crap we cannot prove. But when I show up as someone who survived black projects and I'm pissed off, that's all we ever talk about. Every time I hear another creator go out there, even my very best friend, well, she's angry. Okay, I have a question. Okay, I'm 44. All right. I, at one point, was a child too, right? We all were, okay? And all growing up, I was told the aura does not exist. How many of you out there right now, and do not lie? I said, hey, do you know that you have an aura? So, you're not allowed to talk about it. Even at my best friend's house, her husband gets uncomfortable. He's not the only one. 60-year-old dude in a hotel, same Jamestown, Tennessee. Don't talk about that Rife machine. Dude's terrified. He's over 60 years old and he's shaking because I'm making my hair stand on end in front of him. Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about that Rife machine. They'll kill you. Oh, you're being hyperbolic. No, I'm trying to get you to admit what you do for work. Excuse me? Yeah. Black projects? What is that? Well, the body's electrical and you lie about that. Since I've been alive, everybody just says it's chakras, fractals, shaman. And I'm like, okay. So I grew up that way. I grew up being told by the brightest mathematical minds, working directly for Lockheed, Boeing, McDonnell Douglas, mathematical, electrical engineers, on and on and on. It doesn't exist. Only believe in what you can see. Well, can you read? It says Cox. I know it does since 2005. Then I said, can we read the college textbook? And the adults in my country went, that's a Harry Potter grimoire. And I'm going, wait a minute. Whoa, time out. Wait, stop. So you mean to tell me that I help install the internet, help build the thing? Here we are, clustering routing protocol through bodies. And I go and I look and I'm like, okay, so there it is. You don't know about the scalar? And I'm like, you mean the fucking metamaterials? Hang on a minute. I got my signs handy. Yes, I know about the metamaterials. Drew some pictures. I'm like, do you people know about the metamaterials? She cusses. She won't do a podcast. I'm disabled. They've been electrically assaulting me as a control for years. Sometimes I can't walk for a day or two. Been disabled for 20 years. They said, you have intracranial brain swelling. Pseudotumor cerebri, fake brain tumor. Then they got away with drugging me with 3 times the human lethal limit for opiates. It ain't a maybe. The medical records I've shown like 10 times. Now I can laugh about it because you people out there right now, you're in serious trouble. This is human anatomy on a button press. And it's mandated by the Federal Communications Commission, not something rando over at MUFON. And so when I stumbled into this, because I had been tested on with a button in the pocket of my dad and my ex-husband, they were selling the ability to electrocute your family member into submission to other people. 2011. I didn't know that. Oh, I'm selling home stereo. I ask a decibel competitions. Watch this, Sabrina. The G-force in the car with all the car stereo. I'll disrupt your heart tissue. You get out, have a heart attack 20 minutes from now. Nobody knows the difference. Go around the curve that says 25 miles an hour at 112, 120, and then play a certain type of bass that has a direct field of physics. Physical material physics. Boom, 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 boom. And now you get out of the car and your heart tissue is dislodged just a little bit right in the back with the neck. You'll be dead within 20 minutes. It's physics. Barometric pressure in the veins and arteries. And everybody went, oh my God. And I went, whoa. Is that a college textbook? No, it's not real. The aliens are coming. And I'm like, I put up with this lifelong. And you all said there ain't nothing there that you can't see. Here comes the diacin around inside human eyes. Here come the remote viewers. I'm remote viewing. And I'm like, that's the global information grid. They give you coordinates because it's a grid for the box. And you all got pissy. I don't get it. You know why you don't get it? Because you don't want to. It's really simple and you should be furious. No, not until the COVID. Now all of a sudden that no doctor, no nurse, no police officer, nobody, not our military. No, I am so dumb. God, it's a virus. We're just going to kill everyone again like we do every so often. 1911, Tennessee, we put up a bunch of towers for the wireless. 80% of the community got diabetes instantly. Oh, we're just so dumb. We shit ham sandwiches. The heart is not electrical. The body's not electrical. What the f is wrong with you? Only believe in what you can see. All right, well, let's read. What is the medical implant communication system? That's when we put RFIDs in humans in the 50s and 60s and tracked humans like animals. No! What is the Havana syndrome? Well, the ODNI, who's in charge of our country in the U.S., for all of their spookawoo spy state stuff, they said on ABC News in March 2023, there is no Havana syndrome. There's no targeted individuals. You did a job for the government in something called signals intelligence. No, you didn't. You all had a mass hallucination. Now, they've been saying that to our own veterans, doctors, and staff for several years. People are dying. Of what? Well, is your body electrical or not? Everyone in the whole world is going to say, no, it's aura stupid. Who cares? It's chakras. It's religious. It's fractals. I don't know.
Then over here in information surveillance and reconnaissance, neuromodulation, the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Things, we have modeling software on apps on phones for telehealth, remote health, neuromodulation. Oh, they're controlling my thoughts. No, stupid. They're controlling the cellular voltage of your electrical body. That's your biochemical electrical body, meaning that I can change how you digest your food. I can drug you wirelessly, no different than when you get an email on your phone. Now, not only has this been going on for 28 years, wide open market share, if you talk about it with the right terminology. Oh, don't get mad. Whatever you do with everything I'm telling you, you're going to take your rage out on me, the disabled woman who pushed it to the limit for 2 years now, and they still want me to do interviews rather than go interview a professor at Purdue University who's handing out PhDs for the W-band for 4 years right now on the YouTube. Oh, let's go interview the disabled woman. There's some more. And not a one of you backed up and went, this is wrong. Why is she the only one out there talking about something that's right there in a college textbook? Cisco-defined software-defined networking from 11 years ago, 2013. Why? That's pretty bad. It really is. It really is. Then the people that told the truth about your 3-point pulse testing on October 4th and 11th last year, I had to draw a Cisco security mapping of the back end of our cable system and demand intellectual accountability. I'm like, hello, network function virtualization. You've changed out your remote physical, because the blockchain people lied. They said, oh, we're decentralized. I said, no, you're not. You are able to move around because we're watching your body on the 20-year-old National Science Foundation optogenetic networks. We're not testing for your house. You might not be at home. So as I did that, I went looking around. I'm like, where are the electrical engineers? Where are the network engineers? Where are the radio frequency engineers? Mouth sealed shut. Here comes 2 people from Pfizer, and both of them lie about human anatomy. Why? Because I don't think they want people to know the truth about having been found inside your veins and arteries, your blood and tissue, making you sick and doing whatever else they wanted to since the 90s with remotes. 30 grand, according to Greg Reese with the FBI. You download your loved one's DNA into your phone and you hit buttons. That's it. That's your near field effect. Yeah. Oh, but it's only for biohacking. Here comes the young nerds a year and a half ago. I couldn't figure it out. They'll never put a gun on the Boston dogs. And I'm like, they did that with Hurricane Michael when it wiped out the Air Force Base, Tyndall Air Force Base. Hello? No, they would never. It's all unicorns and rainbows. They love us. Okay. Are you going to admit that you're routing computer networking data through the human body? No, Karen Kingston will tell us the truth. No, she told you that your own anatomy was evil. She told you that you're evil. You have a demon field. Now, the quantum markets tell you there's no biofield. There's a quantum field. Then at Tufts University, if you want to live forever with Dr. Michael Levin and regenerative medicine, they'll tell you it's a morphogenetic field. I am angry because 150 years ago, this body part was on our United States National Institute of Health and disappeared in 1918, 1910. I'll say 1910 and 1922. Gone. Now, that body part, human biofield, has always been here throughout history. So where did it go? Chiropractors like Dr. Jason Dean, he knows that's a body part. He knows when he makes a change in your veins and arteries by pressure, like we do with biophysics. You mean the terahertz millimeter wave that we're using with the box. How does it work? And all of these people get up in front of you and say, we have hope. Oh, we're going to do something with lawfare. And I'm like, if you don't tell them about neuromodulation, that it was at 40% guaranteed to companies that own your cDNA body part. And they get to log into you right now for the 6G or with the 6G metamaterials that are already live. And everyone with IARPA and BARDA, we're just lying like we breathe, pretending Dr. Anna, Karen Kingston, look, it's nanotechnology. Karen, we know that. You've had 2 years to tell people, nano.gov. I did. I said nanolipid particles. Then you lied about the human anatomy that harnesses the biomedical telemetry for the biosensors. Then you called the biosensors that we use for soil and water and everything a bioweapon instead of looking people in the face and saying, that is a lipid nanoparticle. This is a quantum dot. Now, how are you taking all these kinds of measurements for EKG, ECG, EEG out of my body in situ, in vivo, place of origin, real time? How? She did not tell anyone that. She screamed patent, quantum dot, and said, your body is evil. You have a demon field. This is evil. So I am angry because Karen Kingston lied. She is from Pfizer. She's not this stupid. None of them are. But for 150 years in our country, we do not talk about the biofield because it's part of electromagnetic dominance of the electromagnetic spectrum for electronic warfare, Lockheed, Boeing. And everyone goes, oh, and humps up underneath the MUFON. Then nobody knows. And we have the 4 circles of hell for wireless tissue engineering. What is that? I got an app on my phone. I have your DNA. I log into your cells and make an electrical change because you are electrical. Now, Karen Kingston damn well knows about those biosensors because they are industrial. Those biosensors are not there by accident. They were put in place in the 80s with quantum computing. They were put in further place for testing on neuron and brain-to-brain interface in Elsevier Neural Journals in 2014. The biosensors that are industrial are so old, they're from 2005. For any little nerd who could program in Python or C++, and any construction worker who is installing Zigbee or Bluetooth BLE lights for Li-Fi and Bi-Fi, optogenetics, biophotonics. But you're still telling people it's aliens. That is disgusting. There is no excuse. And all of you out there go, oh, we can't all be that smart. This is really easy. The emperor has no biofield. They stole a piece of human anatomy. And because you won't admit it's human anatomy, that's why we're in this position. And that's why I'm the only one pissed off going, you're letting them do this. Because you're allowing them to lie to you all the time. Those are sensor hunters. They have jobs. They go into their skiff and they hunt your DNA. Tell me how. It's called biomedical telemetry. It's the same exact FCC mandated system that handles the medical apps. And all of you are, oh, I got my Fitbit. Oh, I'm my in persona. Oh, I've got my haptic gear from my video games. And I'm sitting here going, excuse me, they're electrocuting people from the inside out. They've been at it since the 60s, nice and quiet. I think it's a problem because at IIT-Sec, you've got humans that are augmented. They radiated that biofield. They're not human fully anymore. They're synthetic in different areas of their body. Can we talk about that? No. Well, you've produced the cyber-physical backbone by graphinating at the whole population 5 years ago. We're still lying. Here comes Karen Kingston again. And she cannot go, that is a human body part. This is how we log into it with Pfizer. I read all the patents. I sat at the table and I read thousands of pages. Well, clearly you didn't because you can't read 5 pages without falling into Body Sensor Networks 2005. Watch. I will show you. Because for me, this is as simple as these are jobs. And I've shown that repeatedly. And we don't want to deal with that because then we would have to admit to things like routing open shortest path first through molecular networks of human DNA. We would have to admit to storing data on human DNA only for the spy state. You don't even know. And it's going to suck the electricity out of you. You're tired. You have an autoimmune disorder. You have no idea why. And they're never going to tell you, because you cannot disrupt the electrical homeostasis of humans at every cellular level and then sit there and go, oh, I have an idea. Why are they sick? Why are they falling down? Sudden adult death syndrome? I'm so stupid. I have no clue. Let me show you how bad it is. So we got our clocks. That is your house. Measurements and metrics. Okay? Now you're going to ask me, well, how do they do it? They sit down with a little headset that looks right through your veins and arteries with sensors, open systems, architecture, jobs. In their little headset, they can send a signal to your body. And you're going to tell me, no! And I'm going to say, I'm really sorry that people have lied to you about your own anatomy, your own blood and tissue, and the fact that this is well known. 28-year-old technology is not new. Everything you see in these boxes, 1995. Medical body area networks for all your terahertz wands and health apps, 2014. Optogenetics, check out the WEF stage 3 years ago. What are you doing right now? Building C40 cities. How do those work? Let me show you. Cognitive body area networks with 1, 2, 3, technically 4, tiers of cybersecurity in your body. For your blockchain, your HIPAA records, you're carrying it on you because we shut off the radio frequency. We're using human body communication, intergalvanic electricity of just your tissue, the kinetics of you walking around, and the sound of your heartbeat to make the nano move itself around, extracting minerals from your red blood cells whenever it needs to. And you're still out there telling people it doesn't exist. This isn't already done. Agenda 2030 is not done while you're building C40, which is the upgrade to Agenda 2030. This is the Synergy Tech Metric PDF. Check out what didn't change. Graphene healthcare and how we physically route it with computer networking right through you. Period. Jobs. No, Sabrina, no. No, Sabrina, no. We're not going to tell them about the electrical engineers wirelessly logging into bodies mandated by the FCC and FDA since 2013. Nope. We're going to lie like we breathe and scare the f out of them. And we're going to get away with it because we'll just call you crazy some more. And nobody wants to tell the truth about these human remotes. And why would that be? Human augmentation. You lied about that too. So I come out here and I'm like, yo, you need to tell humans that they can generate their own stem cells. You need to tell humans that you stole 80% of their immune system, connected it to the cloud. This is Rutgers University. PhDs for the W-band. Where's everybody else? Listening to the Substack frauds who keep lying to people as we're oh so afraid. You should be. When we lie about what we do when we go to work at the kitchen table, you're lying to your own family. Then you're sending your children to go do these jobs while telling them the cows farting and growing rice is what's killing the planet. We have full weather control admitted to in the Library of Congress today. So for every single one of you that's still sitting there fucked up going, I just don't understand why this woman is so pissed off, because you're treating my fellow citizenry like they do not deserve to learn or know their own anatomy. And I find it abhorrent, disgusting. I find it an abomination. I don't care what your religion is or isn't. To lie to other humans when you know that's a body part. You're just logging in and around, and then you go tell your relatives, I'm a biomedical engineer. I'm a nurse. I'm a doctor. Well, that's great. What are you doing? 5 years. Families destroyed, all this stuff. Oh, Sabrina, there's nothing we can do. Then why is Dr. Jason Dean out there telling people we have hope? Why is Tory out there, given our Supreme Court has ignored Todd Callender, telling people, let's sign an amicus brief to our Supreme Court to handle international law on electromagnetic systems that have no oversight direct out of our country? She's a former cryptolinguist with the NSA. She knows better. Well, what are we going to do? We don't have a vote. No, you don't. We have neural modulation. I've got a radar cube, says Elon. What is that? That's you logging into human bodies with human radar. You didn't tell people that. You didn't tell them the Starlink is phase array bouncing the signal with routing protocols specially addressed for the W-band for several years now. Thermodynamic swelling, the whole nine. You didn't tell them that. You told them nothing but fear. While since 2012, I put on my little EEG headset and I start looking right through you and making changes. You are now in a database on a 6G cognitive body area network. And the reason that I know that this is going through is not only because of test beds, it's because this is how in Myanmar they flew a drone over your home for the Cove W ban, which you all still lie about that too. And until you're willing to admit to people what you got paid to do when you went to school and switched out regular biology way back in 2008, and it's split now, regular biology and synthetic biology, tons of jobs for morphogenetics, life extension. Who doesn't want anti-aging? Come on now. Now we have skintronics, bioelectronics, electroceuticals, designer drugs, and AI precision healthcare. What did you tell people? Get ready for the aliens. You told them the 6G does not exist, and a gentleman dropped a comment and said the 5G is not scalar. That's correct. The metamaterials are. And all the 6G is the 6G low personal area network. The LoRa, gigahertz to terahertz, terahertz to gigahertz. And for Owen Benjamin, that's the millimeter wave terahertz bullets on the side of your house controlled by AI, which is why your ass fucking talked and said, well, that millimeter wave is kind of dangerous. Thanks, Caltech. You want to tell him the truth now? You're the liar with the near field effect. Oh, she's crazy. Stay away from her. The DOD didn't leave anybody out, Mr. Benjamin. You're helping Cohen tell. Then you went on InfoWars, etc., and it made sense to me. When I watched these mathematicians when I was younger, Kerry versus Flynn, we're still going to keep the remotes, keep it all under control. What are we watching right now? Exactly that. Oh, it's a movie. We're going to do something for themselves. Listen, you guys can talk a big game. You can drive narratives on your Gambit satellites. I hear it come and go, and I'm like, you're still lying. I know you're lying because these are engineered systems. I'm not coming from all you're up. I'm MQ Ultra. I wrote a book. Do you see me sitting here in front of you showing you Professor Akhildes? This signage right here is from Professor Akhildes in his metamaterials presentation, not something that I channeled and went, oh my God, I'm so much smarter than everyone else. Nope. I went directly to the source of who is the human providing the material to Tufts University, Rutgers University, Cambridge, Oxford, of course, our lovely MATLAB over with MIT, the IAS. That would be the Advanced Institute, Princeton. Hello? No, she must be crazy. Nope. Metamaterials are part of the 6G because the bioelectromagnetic algorithms had too much radio frequency leakage and there was too much cybersecurity mitigation network openings, where we don't want other people to be, between the human themselves and the extra radio frequency around their body, creating too much space. So now we use human body communication with the metamaterials and just hit your face with the smart dust. And how did I figure it out? I held a job with my coffee-stained resume in time going, when I found your 6G low personal area network of machine-to-machine ad hoc vehicular on-the-fly routing and the bodies were in the middle of this, I'm like, whoa, why are bodies here? Well, they've been here for a while. Then I went back to, in September of 2020, the Artificial Intelligence Symposium at the Department of Defense, and I took notes. And they said, MQ-9 Reaper tethered to ground to your DNA, Project Maven. And I'm like, the f*** is that? So when I went ahead and researched Geomancer and Spellcaster per Celeste Salam, I found we're going to find you. We're going to update your databases. Those are those artificial intelligence notes where our own DOD was selling database curation to companies. Well, welcome to your Internet of Behaviors. Oh, we're so dumb. No, Amazing Polly told the whole truth in 2021. Here's Red Rwanda in the 90s. Get on your knees. We'll hit a button. You're in your little circle here. More circle math. We electrocute your body. Now your brain and your body are all fucked up. You surrender to the next person you see wearing a blue coat, for example. Oh, it's math. Because you are an antenna in an electrical body. You're being lied to everyone about electronic warfare. Then you lied about the BLE and sent out the black-pilled shill to pretend he was too stupid to know that the BLE had been mandated since the same 2005 and had everyone swimming around confused. What is a MAC ID? What does it do? Why is it inside the body? And that infuriated me because I'm like, I know as a radio frequency dude, you fucking know better. Nope, we're going to lie about it. Okay. So the reason that radio frequency people and all these people are lying to you is because information surveillance and reconnaissance, our C4ISR, which is what contains our slaughter bots, drone swarms, drones in general, they don't want anybody to know about Pentagon Directive 3009. So the Cove ban, IOTW ban, Google fingers, you're going to find out that they have you on different networks determining how sick you are and how infected you are. And the reason for that is because you have lied about human anatomy. Your biofield comprises 80% of your immune system when you take mean, median, and mode of the different organs involved with the immune system. Project Salus, a sentient AI from Dartmouth since 1954. I had cassette tapes from my parents talking about Project Salus in 1969, which I found, or 1972, excuse me, which I found really weird until I went ahead and did further research. I worked at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater as professional information and technical services, and I found the software that Fauci was talking about with the HIV a long time ago. They wanted AIDS, take the AZT to destabilize the immune system, low Earth orbit satellite right into the biofield. And I'm like, what are these old underground IBMs? Well, check out the Daily Mail. There's one from 1860 on. Lie some more. It'll be great. I'll get to sit here and go, so tell me, why is it that nobody knows anything? Because it's information surveillance and reconnaissance. That means we don't want people to know about that stuff so that they can't come back and spy on us, right? Okay, great. But when you don't tell your own country what you're doing, what's Project Maven? Well, Project Maven is in use with our Department of Defense and everyone's body for electronic integrated disease surveillance system, which is what your COVE-W ban is. And your cognitive threat warfare technology is that little headset watching your body with EEG, MRI, it's all left the hospital, and the ultrasound is also left the hospital. And anything that you see here, your ISP, satellite, drones, infrared, wireless sensor networks, brain-to-brain, wireless sensor networks that are ad hoc, meaning they can go up and down, physical MAC connections, regular MAC IDs, personal area network, bootstrap devices, your ManNet, all of that hits right into your body because you are a node on the network per the international standards for electrical and electronics engineers. Now, if I've got an electronic integrated disease surveillance system with the CDC since 1988, and I have apps with biolabs called Bioconductor for Bioinformatics that already have sold Marburg and Ebola testing a year and a half ago, ready to go. PCR testing, right? Nope. Scorpius and Zeus were sold to the DOE, the Department of Energy, and the IRS and the DHS. What is that for? Right. So we have little phones that we can point at you, give you diseases, take them away. Nobody's talking about it, that it's been there since 2012 for what it is. And who's doing it? Your medical, your sheriff, your police, your logistics, your lawfare, your main military, paramilitary. Why? Because this is electronic warfare with advanced signals technology. C4ISR, the Army, multi-domain sensing system with high accuracy detection, exploitation, biosensors, industrially in the body since 2005. Your body is 802.15.6. You are a node on the network, period. No, Tori, our Supreme Court ain't going to give a fuck, and I really wish you would tell people that. Why? Tell them, Tori. Tell them why. Because the satellites are not where the problem is. Right, lady with the radar cube? The fly intercept? Their body is the network. With the molecular communication nano terahertz routing with pathlets. Those little fragments of DNA, they're routing them in and out of people. And I'll post that link when I'm done posting this. Those of you out there that are stalling, those of you out there that are still collecting money to lie about this and protect the censor hunters, you're getting people killed. Those of you that are waiting around for the same people who did all this to turn it off, your body is the network. The only way to turn it off is to turn off your DNA. Computer networking through the human body with bioelectromagnetic algorithms and metamaterials has consequences. When you lie to people for 5 years after putting in the cyber-physical backbone in 2017, and you're still scaring people, what are you going to tell them now? Because you sure as hell are not going to turn it off. We have a bunch of people that are already augmented in Black Swan IIT-Sec ready to go. So what are you really going to do? You're going to people. And they're all going to get away with it because nobody wanted to talk about anything real. Everyone wanted to be incensed with UFO stories and all this garbage that goes all the way back to hiding the information. I'm looking for a sign. Surveillance and reconnaissance tech for signals, advanced signals technology, which is a sign I'm looking for. So, sensors open system architecture and modified open system approach, and the one that's missing is the optogenetic one right here, OSA. We've had this around with high accuracy detection exploitation systems since the 50s. The international community on Computer Weekly in 2014 wanted to sue the Project Maven problem away, and they were told internationally by the Pentagon and DARPA, BARDA, and IARPA, no. So, the reason they were told no is because of your Steve Greer, all this secrecy around the UFO crap that is really, truly us around with the electrical human body part, making sure that no one else is allowed to talk about it for what it is, and that way they can continue with their life extension, screwing around, logging in and out of bodies. Nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to believe it. Oh, my religion will protect me, my belief system. Meanwhile, the biohackers and biophysics people are like, let them do what they want. We'll just electrocute you into submission. Like they've been doing the entire time and since the 50s with full dominance of the electromagnetic spectrum. That's how we also have our CRISPR-Cas9 logging in and making changes. Not a problem. Nano barcoding, modified polynucleotides. And I'm watching people go out there and tiptoe around it. And then here comes Karen Kingston. Oh, look, nanotechnology. Yeah, Karen, we know. Nano.gov, 20 years. There's a biomedical telemetry involved with your health apps. There's a biomedical telemetry involved with the Department of Defense HDIAC casualty care. There's a biomedical telemetry involved with our health. And if you don't tell humans, full on, flat, straight out, we are logging into people's bodies with apps on the phone. They have no idea when they walk through the grocery store. What the hell are you doing? Tracking you, sending your data to somebody. We've been dealing with that for 3 to 4 years. Oh, they're going to do something about it. More than 3 to 4 years. They can't. That's why, Tori, sending people to the Supreme Court is a waste of their time. And you know it. Instead, I really wish you would send people into this direction. Can you please start admitting that you route computer networking through the human body? Can you please get people up to speed on the augmentation that's already been done? Spending time whining at the Supreme Court and endless lawfare they're not interested in. We have very little time left before everybody's cubes are going pop, snap, up, down, and transversal current in the global information grid. And I haven't heard about any of that out of you, dear. I've only heard you talk about things that are over here in technical. Why aren't you talking about what happens with the gradient waves? Or do you not know? I'm serious. The way that we handled pushing that craton out of the way, Lower California like a step stair, buoys in the optogenetic networks for combinatoric math, and that's what those radar cubes are for, per the DoD Pentagon statements in chemical warfare, some more, and DARPA R&D for 2023. Yeah, I kind of held back because I've been waiting for the rest of you to say something. Make the same mistake like I did in April of 2022. Hey, you want to tell people what you're really going to do to them? No. We play games with each other in our sandbox here in the spy state. That's great. This is the Synergy channel. I don't play with the spookawoos. So, they use video game controllers to control people like Sims. Yeah. They gave the guys in the white vans jobs and a pension. Signature Reduction Force jobs. Google that. There's your finder's cult. They were employed. They have been hired since then. Why do we need a signature reduction force? Because we're neurally modulating people and getting paid for it. And they're going to their conferences and around and selling access to other people in their lives every day. That's why no one can get off the databases as well. So when you call me hyperbolic, they root around in real time in your veins and arteries. Your body area network is the weapon. No tower or nano required. Just you and your own internal galvanic coupling and electricity. That's how it works. So the truth is not hard. It's ugly. They stole a body part, and you won't talk about it for what it is. We have hacked the bioelectric code. We have hacked the Schumann. We have changed out the golden ratio. We have installed biosensors into human bodies since 2005 as somebody's job. You're all still sitting there pretending it's the Illuminati and the aliens are coming. Disgusting. Immature. No reason to do that. Oh, Trump's going to come in and do what? Listen, I want to hear this followed through to its logical conclusion. So far, what I'm seeing out there since I've been gone is the same bullshitting with hopium. You got to tell people that it is their body part. You have to admit that Project Maven is mosaic warfare and net-centric node access. Anything the internet can get a hold of with the wireless, and net doesn't mean your phone. Anything that the internet can get a hold of. Anything. And they got you. Since 2005. With an electronic integrated disease control system since 1988, and you still play stupid? Let me guess, CRISPR's fake too. There is no CRISPR-Cas9. There's no way to DNA-encoded solid phase synthesis with combinatoric math and combinatorial synthesis database libraries using our phase array friends to go ahead and change out that electrical signal with nanotheranostics, nanocubesat, and the new therapeutics we have for wireless healthcare. You're playing with your brain. They already did this. They already got away with it all because there's Pentagon directives involved that do not have a positive outcome as a design criterion, only unintended engagement and loss of control since 2012. And you lied about that. So when the cyber physical backbone goes off 5 years later, you now do not have a choice. You have human body communication. That means there's your body. You're a node on the network, ultra wideband, no more GPS. We're inside of you at the remote PHY. Your blockchain is handling your HIPAA as well as anything else we want to write into your DNA. Tell me how. Because I got news for you. You think that the 6G is bad. They've got 7, 8, 9, and 10 already deployed in certain places with universities. And we can't even get people like Karen Kingston to admit that this exists. She keeps telling people that it's some other field, that it's something else, rather than we've had you on the cloud since 1995, and we're using human body communication, not radio frequency, and the biosensors are not a bioweapon. They are surveillance biomimetics. And then she could be more helpful, given everyone's watching her and crying for her all the time, if she said these metamaterials by Professor Achildes are your 6G, and that the reason they did metamaterials is because the bioelectromagnetic algorithms to control human anatomy weren't strong enough. When you send those electromagnetic signals through the wireless, it propagates differently. We needed smaller networks at the terahertz level to auto-correct with the Doppler by phase states. That's why the Doppler went from spread spectrum to pulse, so that we could be more precise with our electrical acuity. Now tell me how. You have an electrical body part. Every human does. They get to lie about it, make fun of you, and electrocute you from the inside out without your consent, without your knowledge, and without your permission. If you go to the doctor, he'll tell you you're nuts. If you try to get help legally, they will lie to you, take your money, it will go nowhere. There's no one database because they've sold the databases out to all sorts of people. And it's farmed out based on cyber security, not a maybe, and not only who can buy what dongle. And that's all controlled by AEHF Delta Space Force. And how do I know all that? Mommy and Daddy were at the highest level of international security for satellites back in the 60s and 70s. BAE Systems in 2021 sold off their 500 corporation and took on 60,000 additional employees. And me, having family records, I went, Well, now you just dropped all your security. And the company that BAE Systems subsumed had been doing topology research worldwide, every country, all topology, no hidden military, no hidden nothing. I found that kind of weird. Then in 2022, in February, the IP addresses 24 dot something. I had to subnet those in binary for a charter because we had so few IP addresses back in the day. And they were selling in Florida for 3 months, the same IP blocks, selling. And I'm like, why would you even be doing that? Schriever, you want to talk about that? Probably not. So, having built the ass end of the internet on CONUS, I'm looking at this going, you're going from RF to optogenetics, bodies. You must have another network already built because in network security, you don't just go, hey, we're going to upgrade. Let's see what happens. No. 300 grand a minute when it was down at charter. You don't get to be down. You parallel build. So there's the optogenetic network with the National Science Foundation and Nano.gov for 20 years. And I'm going, son bitch, Li-Fi, Bi-Fi, and all these bodies, and a ton of augmented people. Silicon Valley, military, paramilitary, they're everywhere. And I can't even get people to admit that this is extant at all. In the following way. Cisco software-defined security. Emergent technology, brain-computer interface, humans, and the DoD directive. Pardon my face. If you do not tell people that you took away their human anatomy and you keep treating them like dog shit, telling them aliens, telling them you're too stupid to know about nanotech, we got to get 5 more people up here. You know, people bitched about they can't watch me. I just watch and I don't get it. Well, if you keep watching those crazies on the Substack, you'll never understand. And frankly, I'm disappointed in some of you, but I'm not surprised. I thought while I was gone, somebody would jump up and be like, hey, let's get that Purdue University professor interviewed. Nope. Hey, let's talk about this for real so we can get the pressure off of our children and our politicians and try to generate intellectual dialogue. No, we're going to remain obsessed with you, Sabrina, being too angry for anybody to listen to. 5 years of COVID and all the shit that's happened to you wasn't enough to admit that we have a information surveillance reconnaissance problem. They're kind of addicted to their secret buttons and they don't want to give them up. That's what I saw when I named my stuffed animal Babbitt for Ashley Babbitt when Flynn and Carey and all these scientists made these decisions in 1983. So if you were me, and lifelong, all I ever wanted to do was teach biofield practice, crystals, and concurrence. Biofield concurrence, natural. No terahertz, no wearable, natural telepathy, natural telekinetics. Now, we're going to transcranial just test on you constant, electrocute you where you are, make you face plant in front of people, and then we're going to tell everyone it's your fault, up, make shit up. I've seen the most horrible nightmares happening to all these other people, and they're professionals. They are high-level professionals. Now they're homeless on the street. No one will even help them eat. And all of you that are sitting there protecting the censor hunters, protecting these people that have these systems, I can't for the life of me figure out why. I can't. Because they're going to kill you, and you know it, because this system has been doing what it does since the 50s. Then the young nerds are so traumatized by you out there lying every 5 minutes, cognitive dissonance about the climate and the planet. They're just like, fuck it. I'll live in a 15-minute city. I'll walk or ride a stationary bicycle to power my coffee pot. At least I'm not getting yelled at. And I don't want to leave my desk. I'll just upload myself into the metaverse. So I challenge those of you out there that are still unable to do what I just did. Could you please, I'm begging you, download the Synergy Tech Metric PDF that has Robin Williams' face on it. Take a look at it. Go debunk it. Go to your network engineers. Go to whoever you need to. And when you can't, can you please make it as simple as the following? How does the electrical signal get into the human body? The human body's biochemical, electrical homeostasis. Okay. How are you doing that? Near field channel communication. I thought that was only for doors. I thought that was only for physical equipment. No, since 1995, it is a f***ing job for someone to know what we're routing in and out of your body. We've tested it by thermodynamics. We've tested it by barometric pressure and written special protocols just for those things. And not a one of you can get up and say, that's human anatomy taken away and hand it to some other random human. Cowards.